All right, we're going to go over to Mylani, who has a story as well.
All right. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Mylani Sonico. I am an incoming second year at UCLA. And today I would like to share a personal story about my college experience within this past year and how I really learned the importance of giving back and building a strong sense of community. So last year, I graduated from middle college high school, and I just remember feeling so proud of my accomplishments and really excited for a new chapter of my life. Now, of course, I was nervous to move from the Bay Area to LA with the change in environment and everything, but I was just full of more pride and excitement than nerves. And I'm not one to brag about my accomplishments and not one to make them known to everyone. But when I went to LA, I quickly realized that sharing those accomplishments changed people's perception of me within a matter of seconds. So, to name a few highly praised ones, I graduated as salutatorian of my senior class. I earned 3 associate's degrees at the end of high school, and I was awarded a Regent Scholarship to attend UCLA. Now, if your perception of me changed after sharing this information, then that is exactly what I experienced throughout my first year at UCLA. So sharing those accomplishments felt needed to explain why I was accepted. But once I was in the door, it was like, what else did I have to offer? So I felt like I returned back to square one and I constantly had to prove my worth to others around me. And instead of rising to that challenge, I was quickly intimidated by the confidence exuding from the other students. And I was just overwhelmed by the amount of white privilege that I was being more exposed to. And of course, not being on the receiving end of that. So, as a first generation college student and a person of color, I just felt anxious about where I stood and falling behind, not knowing anything about college going culture. And then I felt insecure about where I fit into UCLA student body. So I severely struggled with imposter syndrome, and even the smallest incidents would make me question my place there. I remember walking to and from class every day, and there would just be these groups of white male students who would interrupt my private conversations and sometimes even mock them. And within my first quarter, this happened at least 5 times, and each time I didn't know how to handle it. And so at that point, I just didn't know how to use my voice, and I felt like I was crawling deeper into my shell. So by the end of my first quarter, I wasn't performing as well as I'd hoped for academically, and I was too afraid to put myself out there socially. And when I returned home, it was just obvious that I was not in a happy place. So I really took the time to reflect over my winter break, and I relied on family, friends, and scholarship programs like the Richmond Promise for their support. And within those few weeks, their encouragement really reminded me that I am good enough and I am more than capable of succeeding whatever I choose to do. And I didn't fully realize it in that moment, but their encouragement had such a positive impact on me. And when I returned back to school, I experienced so much personal growth. I started picking up my grades and putting myself out there to meet new people, and really became less afraid of asking for help when needed. And so learning and growing from those experiences really inspired me to pay it forward and help uplift members of my community. And so that's why I decided to take advantage of the opportunity to work with Richmond Promise this summer and really invest in our Richmond youth. And so, in addition to reading with elementary students and being amazed by their insight at such a young age, I also got to advise recent high school graduates and just offer them guidance, support, and my own experiences. And the highlight of that internship was just being able to encourage Richmond youth through every interaction and just being there to reassure them that they are also more than capable of succeeding in whatever they choose to pursue. And so that is why I believe it is so important to give back and build a strong sense of community, because when you invest in uplifting others, when you yourself are being uplifted, it inspires others to do the same and ultimately contributes to changing the world for the better. And I don't believe there's any way you could go wrong with that. So in the future, I'm excited to see hopefully a community that has grown along with me and that I've contributed to that growth in some way that I'm passionate about. Thank you.
Yay! Nice job, Mylani. Whew. That was quite a story. I think just to, so in comments, please send Mylani your love, anything that stood out in her speech. One thing that stood out when I was listening was just like, you can feel so accomplished in name, and especially when you're going from high school to college, but it doesn't mean the journey's done. That, what I got from that is that you have these experiences that make you doubt yourself and make you question yourself along the way. And it's important to have those mentors. And I'm sure that the youth in Richmond were really, really grateful and also really lucky to have you in their lives, having gone through that journey yourself. So other love for Mylani, from the speakers or from the audience. Oh, I see. Nancy says, "Ugh, imposter syndrome, something so many of us deal with. I am glad you were able to overcome that. Look at you now." And other comments, "I'm sorry that you had to experience that. Just keep learning and keep positive things going." And Caitlin gives lots of claps and wow. And Bishop James Williams is out there. That is a great accomplishment. So definitely lots of people who are relating to your story. Willie, you were going to say something, though.
I was just going to say that was, it really resonated with me personally. I just shared with my father 30 years later since graduating from high school that I was actually accepted into UCLA, but I was terrified. And I never told my parents that I got into that school because I thought I couldn't make it. I thought I wasn't good enough. I thought all of those things that you were describing here. So your story really resonated with me personally, and your tone and the way that you deliver the story was so engaging and just really soothing and really allowed me to just really fall into your narrative. So thank you for sharing that, and please continue to share that story. You can inspire someone um, with your words.
Same. It's so good to see you grown up. I don't know if you remember me, but I remember you from the Boys and Girls Club. So it's so good to see you. Yes, it's so good to see you being outspoken. I also went to middle college, so I understand the struggle, and you accomplishing all those things. It takes a lot. I definitely understand. So kudos to you. Kudos for sharing, and kudos to giving back to your community, because that's really, really important. So I'm very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's crazy.
I also, I think a lot of us, when we first go to college, or as like I said, being a first gen, I suffered from imposter syndrome as well. I thought, why is it me? Maybe I'm not the right fit. Maybe this or that, and you just really start doubting yourself. And then you just have to realize, you're there for a reason, and you just have to, overcome all of your hardships. And I really liked your story and the ending, and I can't wait to see what you do in your career, because you're just a sophomore. So I can't wait to see where, your journey ends.
Yes, Caitlin says the same, a similar point. Thank you for sharing your story. So many brilliant young people have a similar experience and often don't find the type of support you found. So glad you're trying to share similar support with other youth.